Hi there. Today is very windy and I have dogs trying to help me do my devotional, so we are just going to make the best of it. I hope you're doing well. I brought this for you to look at today. This is called the Cup of Justice, and it was designed by Pythagoras. Some of you may have flashbacks to high school algebra when you hear that name. He invented the Pythagorean theorem. Well, he designed this cup, the Cup of Justice, and he was a Greek philosopher, but he was also a teacher. So when he would teach his students under the hot Greek sun and give them a water break, he would give them this cup, and inside there's a little groove, a line, and he would tell them to fill it to the line and go have a refreshing cup of water. So if they listened and filled it to the line, they got their cup of water. If they cheated and filled it even a little past the line, you can see there's a little escape hole down there, and all of the water pours out onto the ground. Now that's pretty cool. I don't know how he designed that, but I thought that was really cool. And no amount of intellect that any of those students or philosophers had could gather it up and put it back into the cup. There's another story in 2 Samuel 23 about David. And David, this was in the heart of battle. David was in a stronghold and he was thirsty, so he asked his 3 most loyal, fiercest warriors to go get him something to drink. So they had to cross the front lines of the Philistines to go get King David a cup of water, and they came back and he refused to drink it. And then they urged him to, and he just poured it out onto the ground, because when they got back, he realized what he had done. He had risked their lives to get a cup of water, and water represents life. So no amount of fierceness, strength, kingship could gather that water that he poured onto the ground and get it back into the cup to quench his thirst. And I just want you to think about that. You know, every day we're going to pour out life. No matter, we're alive. Words are coming out of our mouths, actions, decisions, and sometimes it feels like there are days that water, that cup of water that we're given every day, is just spilled out onto the ground. When we live in worry, in fear, anxiety, negativity, we believe lies about ourselves, it's just like that water that just spilled onto the ground. But we can also take that water and pour it into the vessels around us, and pour into the lives of the people around us in a positive and in a godly way. I want to read you, this is 2 Samuel again, 14:14, and it says, "Like water spilled on the ground, which cannot be recovered, so we must die. But that is not what God desires. Rather, He devises ways so that a banished person does not remain banished from Him." You know, for us, it is completely impossible to gather water that has been spilled onto the ground and to use it for anything. However, I want to remind you of Matthew 19:26, which says, "With man this is impossible, but with God all things are possible." That verse in 2 Samuel 14 said He devises ways. So if we are in a place right now that the life we're living is just like water being spilled out on the ground, He has devised a way, and He can collect that water and He can pour it back into us so that we can pour into others. I hope you have a wonderful, blessed day, and thank you for joining me today. Goodbye.